manscaped.com, and the code FIGHTFUL. They have a monopoly on the bathroom. Let's be real, when they start selling wipes, it's over for everybody. What don't they have at Manscaped? It starts off, with your body parts, your balls and your butt, but it's a lot more than that. They got everything in the bathroom, from the shower with body wash and shampoo and body buffers, to the beard. They have a phenomenal beard trimmer. They have beard combs, beard oil, beard conditioner, all that good stuff. And for your nether regions as well. They have a variety of packages that you can try out, from ones that go from the bathroom to your body to your hair. It doesn't really matter. They've got you covered. They've got a little something for everybody. If you're on the go, they have the go bag as well. They've got travel options. Manscaped.com and the code FIGHTFUL. You're always going to find a great deal when you use that code at Manscaped. What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. It is February 12th, 2025. The go-home show for AEW Grand Slam. I know it's a late start. It is 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the show to start after NBA All-Star Weekend, which I will also be watching that. But we will have a live post-show. I might tune in or might join in with some news and all that stuff. But by God, we are here to talk about AEW Dynamite for tonight. AEW, in my opinion, has been on a hot streak on TV of late. Collision kicked ass. I think Dynamite's been really good of late. And we're here to talk to you guys about it. Leave a thumbs up. If you want your question or statement read on the air, get in a super chat here at youtube.com/Fightful. We've got info docs. We've got nightly post-show reviews, almost daily news shows. We have a bunch of shorts, events footage, anything you could ask for. It doesn't make the algorithm favor us, but we put everything on this channel for you guys to find. So super chats, get your questions or statement read on the air. If you're one of the thousands of people who watch on Twitter, on X, which has become one of our top platforms at this stage, get a humper chat in, HUMPER chats.com. Bear with me a little bit. The format will be slightly different as Luis has the night off, but he did help me with today's What's Up, You Guys podcast. I answered your questions for 80 minutes in a row. It was a good time. Really liking those solo streams. But by God, if you want more questions answered, FightfulSelect.com, the best $6 a month or $64 a year in the business. We have Will Ospreay news from Corey Brennan, Pro Wrestling Eve, a multiverse Rumble news. But today we had a lot of breaking news on big TNA changes. And it ain't stopping. We got a piece of breaking news there at least every single day. But this fella is also there an awful lot. His name is Alex Pawlowski. I can confirm he will not be a part of the new Fightful Select Espanol that we are about to launch. So listen, Harley Cameron's got one up on you because when we launch Fightful Select China, she's going to be our top reporter.
She's definitely gonna be that.
Yeah. Pawlowski, Polish?
Polish, yes, Polish. However, one of those fun things, my mother's mother, born in Puerto Rico, full blood Puerto Rican. So I have a quarter Latin blood coursing through my veins and about a quarter of a Spanish dictionary from high school. Still in here somewhere. I just don't know how to access it.
Little do you guys know that Alex Pawlowski actually had stitch for stitch Zelina Vega's gear.
Yeah. I was like, that was my idea for my big wrestling debut. She stole it.
Now I got to find something else to wear. AEW Dynamite. I am so excited to talk about this show with you guys. And of course, retweet those streams that you see. You can head over to Fightful on Twitter. If you do speak Spanish, we are launching Fightful Espanol. We're launching it on Twitter at the Fightful Espanol account where you can win a copy of WWE 2K25. And we are launching a Fightful Select Espanol, which will start off with our English stories translated into Spanish. But listen, we realize we get aggregated an awful lot by Spanish language speakers. And our dude Luis said, pick me. I'll be the one. I got you. And man, if anybody we know we can trust, it's him, because I can't tell you how many times like he has helped us out with scoops on that side of things. So I'm really excited to launch that. Eventually, we will roll out some podcasts and stuff like that, but we got to get our bearings underneath us, so to speak. But let's talk AEW Dynamite. Alex, we're going to hop around a little bit here.
Seems right.
Because I thought that this show really benefited from weaving things in and out of the show and coming back to them later.
Yeah.
In fact, when I saw the spoilers for this show, I said, how the hell are they doing that in 2 hours? Like,
I mean, it didn't feel like they could have, right? Like,
it didn't feel like they could.
I believe the 5th match was starting before the first hour was over. Like, that's not a thing that you can usually get done, but they did it.
Yeah. And let's kick off with Cope and Switchblade. You could argue, would that be a kidnapping charge?
I mean, we still don't know what's in the briefcase. Like, that's the thing. Like,
locking Marina in a room.
Well, I guess that's true. I thought you meant like they stole the briefcase. There might have been a child in it. I'm not sure. But Marina Shafir being, kept in there, and then them bolt cuttering off the handcuffs while she was locked in a room. Clever work by Cope and Switch. But I still vote for Mike and Ike's. I still vote that it's just full of Mike and Ike's. If it's only the belt, it's so anticlimactic. It needs to be something else. I don't care what it is. The glowing thing from Pulp Fiction, whatever's in the briefcase can't just be the belt. That's too obvious. Give me something special and wacky. I'm not really sure. Mox is from Cincinnati. Skyline Chili. The whole thing is full of Skyline Chili.
I mean, like, if they were to open that up, they'd be like, oh, that's even better than the AEW title. Skyline's delicious. Skyline, hit me with that sponsorship. I have a friend coming up here in a couple months, and I'm pretty sure the primary motivation is so they can try Skyline. I'm pretty sure that's why. And it is very good. My wife makes better conies, way better conies, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So Cope steals the briefcase. We got the little nod to history. He goes, I've carried one of these things a couple times. like that. I think my favorite part of this whole situation, okay, not my favorite part, but Switchblade referring to them as the D Riders. I'm like, that's clever. But my real favorite thing about all this was the little seed that they planted for Marina and Willow later on in the evening. Because Willow's doing her interview, and Marina shows up and throws a liver kick, and Marina gets the hell out, Willow gets the hell out of there. Moxley cuts his promo.
Yeah.
This is something that a lot of people have wondered, like, when on earth are we going to get Marina finally wrestling?
Yeah.
Willow is as AEW as it gets at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she is one of their girls, and she is somebody that they put an awful lot into. And somebody asked me today, Alex, they're like, what is one thing you think that AEW does better than WWE? And I said, without a doubt, developing underneath contenders and having feuds that are not for the title for the women. Because now you've set one up. It made all the sense in the world to me for Marina to do that, because she's just taking orders from her boss. Sorry, Willow, get out of the way. But Willow's not going to stand for that.
No.
I love this.
They set up 2 great underneath non-title feuds tonight. Statlander versus Megan Bayne, yes, please. Like, that's a thing that they did later. Like, this is what is great, is that in the women's division in AEW, usually before somebody is springboarded to a title shot, they have to beat somebody else in the undercard somewhere to, like, the momentum of having gotten that person in their past allows them to have the confidence of coming up to the champ and saying, I want a shot at that title. And that is great for the women, especially. And I think that's really cool that we listen. If part of what we're trying to do here with the D Riders is just constantly get them heat. Like, you could not pick a better woman for Marina Shafir to fight, to attempt to injure than Willow. Willow is everyone's darling. Everyone wants Willow to be great, to look great, to see more of her. We all root for Willow. So that is the perfect person to have Marina Shafir attack out of nowhere, unprompted, and then begin a little feud with, because it's going to get crazy heat on Marina Shafir. It's good. It's a really good idea.
The end of the show, I got to agree with Mike JC. He says, great show, but Adam Copeland really said, if you don't accept my challenge, I'm going to show everyone the belt.
Which is why I'm hoping it's not the belt, because Moxley says, I don't want everyone to see my porn collection. It's in there. Please don't show everybody my porn collection. And that's why he doesn't want anybody opening it. If it was just the belt, allow everyone to see the belt. What does it hurt?
It's the 40-year-old virgin porn collection. That's what it is. He's got the ones like
that's what
School of Cock.
Yeah. You don't want
things like, and he goes, everybody loves Raymond. He's like, that's just a good show. I tape it sometimes. And everybody loves Raymond is the only thing he has left in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of everything on this show, that was probably what I liked the least. And I didn't really dislike it or anything like that.
Yeah,
It was fine. It was
Yeah.
fine. James Zimmerman said, this show humped. AEW was a real fun show tonight. It was fun. Tom says, by the way, Luis and Cardoza, Fightful Espanol starting. Well, listen, I've said for a long time that, like, if we got that going, I'd probably try to get Demon Diva involved in some capacity as well. Longtime friend of Fightful. But yeah. Another thing that I loved, and it's related to the Death Riders. This trios match, Death Riders defeated Undisputed Kingdom,
great.
which are pretty much just undisputed at this point. There is no, like, you don't have to say Kingdom with it, but they do for trademark reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This match and this show is exactly what the trios division needed. That division has been deader than a doornail at AEW's fault, because they haven't booked their champions in anything in a long time. Then you come in and you book them against what I would argue is the most prominent trios you could possibly book them against. A faction that was the main event of NXT, your top competition, for years. And they had an absolute slapper, especially a group that has been struggling to garner interest after being massively over. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's why they got over, because they wrestle really good. And they also happen to be interesting on top of that.
Yeah.
This is exactly what this division needed, Alex.
Yeah. I'm very happy about this. They said, like, no one's been worthy for us to fight them. And now you guys are. Obviously.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the legendary trios of the past decade across wrestling is Undisputed Era. And so now we finally have somebody worth fighting. I think that's a really great way of retconning that they just stopped booking them to defend the titles months ago. But this is actually why I didn't want Claudio in the C2, because that gives them license to take a month off from caring about the trios titles because he was doing other stuff. They've been just running around getting involved in Moxley's business and not defending the titles. I like that they're like, okay, fine, here's why, because none of you guys were worth it. These guys are. Let's fight them. And they had him beat. They absolutely had him beat. I honestly liked that the time that they really had him beat, they actually had Wheeler Yuta dig deep and kick out. Nobody saved him.
Yes.
Like, that was a really cool thing to put over for Yuta. And then Yuta using his Moxley and heel training to hit the low blow and get the small package to get the victory. I mean, obviously they cheated to win. I do think ultimately that the Undisputed Kingdom, those three guys are going to be the ones to take the trios titles off.
Me too.
Them, but not on a Dynamite that was taped last night. They're not going to do that now.
Yeah,
but they might end up getting a rematch for Revolution and beating them then. I think it might wind up being that Moxley loses his title on the same night that they lose the trios titles. But if we got to wait for Moxley to lose his title until Double or Nothing, or at worst all in, then I certainly don't think that these 3 guys should be the trios titles for that long, for sure.
Yeah, and if you we keep an updated roster as best we can on the Fightful resources page, but if you look at the trios that are available, the Elite are not a thing right now.
No.
The Conglomeration are not a thing right now.
No.
You do have the Hurt Syndicate, who are tag champs right now, so eliminate them. Mm-hmm. You have LFI. They haven't gotten a sustained push. The Patriarchy do have that main event cachet, so to speak.
Right.
Rated FTR will be a thing.
Yeah.
Undisputed Kingdom are a main event level faction for the trios division.
Yes.
You have the Death Riders. That's 5 pretty solid ones.
And we just got a brand new one added tonight.
Yeah. Well, you could argue they're brand new. Yeah, I know you mean the Jericho Appreciation Society, buddy.
No, I do not mean that one, but
which one do you mean? The Ops?
The Ops, man. They have a new they have a new trio name. Once you have a trio name, you are undeniably in the division.
And listen, I love that too. We'll talk more about that later because actually we'll talk about that in the next segment because that goes a long way in developing this team. But you have Daniel Garcia and 2.0 making their presence felt. Again, I don't like that. Like I love Daniel Garcia, but he is the TNT champion. Stop it. Stop doing that. Have him do TNT title shit. Like he can hang out with them, sure. Yeah. But like, damn, man. But I thought that this match specifically is one that you needed to show everybody, oh, okay, this is what the trios title can do. Also in elsewhere, there's like Shane Taylor Promotions. There's Don Callis family. If they wanted to go that route, there is Dark Order. If you had to do that as well, the Premier Athletes, if they ever do a thing with them, but I mean, like they can fill it out. Sanjay Satnam, Jeff Jarrett, you know, your faves.
They're bringing in Elijah to work with the Righteous in ROH. That is a really fun idea for like a mid-card trio.
Well, no,
that could be a lot of fun.
First off,
not?
No, they're not. Fightful Select reported that is an incorrect report. I don't know if they like shot their own angle. Don't know if he's like gonna do some ROH stuff. But he is not signed to an AEW or ROH contract. In fact,
whoops.
TNA is planning on using him.
Whoops. I love the video was awesome.
Great. It was great.
Mean, that's why I assumed it was an official, like a promo from ROH that like, hey, Elijah's showing up. He's teaming with the Righteous. They're coming after the ROH trios titles. I was all on board. It's very funny to me that like it was done so well. I assumed it was official.
Yeah. I hate that Switchblade has been relegated to Cope's sidekick, need him full heel again. I hope that's what happens. I hope that we're about to see a more vicious side, but he also does very well as a babyface, I think. I'll say this, Death Riders have definitely recovered an awful lot from what we saw them as 3 to 4 weeks ago, even.
Yeah.
Because it was looking like a required pivot at that point.
Yeah.
Matty Nice says AEW is on a tear. I'm calling it now. OC wins the belt for Mox, and that will be when Christian cashes in. Hence why OC is off screen. Monday is my birthday, so I'd love a shout out. Thanks for everything. Well, first off, happy birthday, Matty Nice.
Happy birthday.
Who has long supported us, always been a great dude. I just want to say I appreciate you and happy birthday. I don't hate this idea, but also it makes me realize like Jack Perry's off TV, Darby Allin's off TV, OC is off TV. Those are 3 guys that have never reached the tip top that they have leaned on an awful lot.
Right.
They have really put a lot of eggs in those guys' baskets at various points.
Yeah.
And now all 3 of them are off TV, Alex.
I think that now I would argue that with all 3 of them off TV, it's not like the product isn't horribly suffering for them being off TV right now. And everybody deserves a vacation every now and then. And so I think it's a good thing to rotate your talent. And that while these guys are off, everybody else is doing stuff. And when they come back, somebody else can go away for a couple of months, get healthy, get right mentally, like just go somewhere, travel with your family, do something, whatever. And when they come back, the 3 guys you mentioned, each dude, when they come back, will get a big response and the crowd will be ready for them because with WWE fans, it's been seen for years. With AEW fans are no different. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Anybody who is out with an injury for a few weeks, a few months, and comes back, they get that big return pop. People are ready to see them. I think that if you can manufacture that fondness by putting somebody, making them absent on purpose, I think it might actually lead to some really good stuff.
The only problem I have with that is so often in AEW, it turns into, a little bit of absence, and then Scorpio Sky's got 3 matches in 2.5 years.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. Miro did wrestle. Yeah.
There's a difference. Yeah.
Miro didn't wrestle in 2024. And then they picked up Ricky Stark's option and didn't use him for 9 months afterwards. You know what I mean? Like,
if
let's not do that.
If Ricky Starks had been gone for 3 months and came back, the pop would have been gigantic and people would have been ready to see him get a giant push. If Miro had been gone for 6 months and came back in June, people would have been shouting to the rooftops. They'd be so excited to see him. Don't put them on the shelf forever, but if you put them on the shelf for a few months, when they come back, people will be really excited for them.
I have been saying that if I was an agent, a wrestling agent, specifically with AEW, I would work in an out clause in a contract where if you are not used for 60 days and you want out, you can get out.
Yeah.
I think that should become a thing there. But the trios division really added an awful lot tonight. Matt Gray Sky says, Mox is right about Cope. Cope said, here's how much I care about the title, and then tries to destroy it. Yes.
I mean,
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And B Sports Wrangler says, Mox doesn't want the case open at all because all that's inside is that he signed his belt away to the Elite and their new benefactor, Shane McMahon.
Now, I hate this specific idea, but I don't hate the general idea that whatever is in there is something Jon Moxley does not want everyone to see. I don't know what that is, but I like the idea of that's why it's held, it's squirreled away in there. It's locked away. She keeps it handcuffed to this woman who will beat the hell out of you because whatever's in there, he doesn't want anybody to see.
It's WWE 2K20 is what it is.
Oh,
it's a copy of WWE 2K20.
Terrible.
Indeed. So, Hook, Samoa Joe, Shibata win a squash over, I think it's like Aaron Solo and Rosario Grillo and John Cruz. Squash match, good. Give me some trios wins.
Yeah.
They name themselves the Ops. And they get
Samoa Joe, when he puts this kind of inflection in a promo, there ain't nobody else in the world like Samoa Joe, man. Like he fills me with this. He fills me with a combination of just like gleeful apprehension and also dread, because I don't know who he's coming after. He could be coming after a guy I don't want to see destroyed or a guy I do want to see destroyed. But all I know is Joe's going to kill you. That's all I know. It's in the chant. Everyone knows Joe's going to kill you. Just depends on who the you is.
Very excited for Twisted Metal Season 2, by the way. Don't know if any of you all watched that, but it's very good. Hook being involved with these two is exactly what you would like if you want a guy to develop and all that. And he was a guy that was thrown like right into the fire, right? Like he didn't have an indie career. He did not have an underneath career. It's like, here's a guy in his first matches, go and be over. And he was, and then learn on the fly. So also being in the ring with the patriarchy is going to be very good for him.
Yeah.
Guys like Christian, you want him to do that. That takes place next week. And it's one that they've been building towards for quite some time.
Yeah.
And worth remembering, Christian does still have a briefcase.
Yep.
And that they don't bring it up as much anymore.
No, they don't.
Which is usually intentional, Alex.
Right. He's got it. He's not cashing in on Moxley. But everyone seems to think that if Darby is the one who actually beats Moxley for it eventually, that's the perfect guy for Christian to cash in on. And to get mega heat for doing it right after Darby somehow survives Jon Moxley and pins him. People have been saying that. I also don't hate the idea of the right guy taking it from Christian if somehow Christian has to put it on the line in a match, and the right guy takes it from him, and then immediately uses it on Jon Moxley and becomes the new champion. Christian doesn't make sense for him to do it, but if, like, for example, if Samoa Joe somehow got it from Christian and then immediately said, Moxley, and he called him out, and he said, I want you for the title right now. Like, who wouldn't, like, Samoa Joe would get crazy reaction for doing that.
Interesting note. I don't think Hook has been pinned. Or maybe, I can't remember who took the pin at Holiday Bash. Was it Hook or Shibata? But like since like May, Hook has like 0 or 1 pinfall losses. Also, another thing that I noticed since Action Bronson went on, did those interviews about AEW, we have not heard the Action Bronson Hook theme.
We have not.
I bet that it lapsed, and Action Bronson got in his feels about it, not getting that money. I bet it lapsed.
Yeah.
We have a showdown. Chris Jericho wants Bandito. This follows up the awesome Brian Keith.
Oh, it was great.
Bandito
So
pacing thing. And I actually like this about Jericho. Like, he is trying to piggyback off the success of Brian Keith and Bandito in this. And I think it's becoming like more clear, like that he's not propping up them, they're propping up him. And I feel like that's where the story is headed. Like, is that these guys are going to realize, like, he's not helping us, we're helping him. Bandito and Jericho have their face off. It is so corny and stupid.
Yes, it is.
But I love that Big Bill comes out with a wanted poster.
He's going to collect that bounty.
It's so dumb.
It is.
It's so stupid.
It's great. It's dumb and it's dumb and
I
stupid,
love
and
it.
it is because Bill is not doing any hint of irony in it. He's like, I have a wanted poster for that man, and I'm going to take him in dead or alive. Like, there's some great stuff there.
Any thoughts on this one? We also got Hobbs involved, which this is another example. Like, use these guys when they're available, because Hobbs has been super over since he came back.
Hobbs coming out to counter Big Bill was great. The big spine buster and Big Bill just laying there fully spread eagle dead was great. Hobbs and Big Bill, I'm telling you, that has that has the potential to be like the big man feud of the year. Like, we could easily run that back over and over and over again. Because Hobbs is a big boy, but he is a foot shorter than Big Bill. Like, it is really fun to see how, like, he's immense. And when he strides to the ring, you feel like that dude is 10 feet tall. And then you realize he's 6 foot. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, he's standing up next to Big Bill. He goes like this. You still feel like he could kick Big Bill's ass because he's Hobbs. That's a really, really great pairing for that.
And I know Big Bill's like closer to like 6'9", 6'10", but like back in the day, man, 7-footers were growing on trees in pro wrestling, or at least 7-footers. You know what I mean? 6'9" and up. You had Sid, you had Undertaker, you had Kane. All of those guys were very athletic. Like, like if you could get one of those 3 guys today, you would be just like, they would fall all over themselves to make them a champion.
Right.
But like these days, you've got Big Bill and Ben Bishop, and Ben Bishop on the Indies. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a ton that are out there, and I think that I mean, like, Damian Priest is one of the big guys now. And he's like 6'5". He's a big dude.
Yeah.
But like, it makes me wonder, like, maybe Eli Cottonwood was ahead of his time, Alex.
He might have been. He might just well have been.
It's just wild for me to look and see. Like, somebody says, did he just call Kane athletic? Are you fucking high? Like, listen.
Yeah, he used to be.
What? I'm baffled. Like, listen, I don't know if it's a political thing that you disagree with. Understandable, but
No, but
come on.
But in that 98 to 2004, there wasn't a much more of an athletic big man out for the size that he was.
The 6'9" and up.
Yeah, like that. But I mean, he certainly diminished in athletic ability as he got older. But when he was young, yes, that dude could fly off the top rope with that clothesline. Sure.
Somebody mentioned Satnam Singh. He doesn't wrestle as much anymore. And then there's Mason Madden, but he's like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
So there is that. We got some Humper chats in. Feeling Dreepy says, this episode of Dynamite being both pre-recorded and a go-home show and still being really great says a lot about the rise in the quality of booking lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been very, very good. It's like I've really enjoyed it. New Lac City says AEW has been on a roll again. Seems like they went back to the old AEW style of being an action-packed show, moving things quickly, that the crowd stays hotter and the show seems hotter, less Jericho, which me and Alex can appreciate. Me too. Like, I'm good if they relegate that to like Collision and the Trios division and all that. This is another feud, even though Jericho's ROH champion, they're going to lead to Bandito winning that title for sure. He's going to win that title. Yeah. I would love to see a little Trios feud. They don't win, then Big Bill and Brian Keith go out on their own.
Yep.
But it's been way, way better.
Yeah.
Of late. Guys, get in those super chats, get in those Humper chats. We would appreciate if you all left a thumbs up. Listen, tonight overseas, AEW aired a little bit late, but we got your solution if you ever need to change that virtual location.
There's no sponsor that I use more while I'm awake than NordVPN.com/Fightful. Man, this is like the Swiss Army knife, the multi-tool of applications. It does a little bit of everything. You always get a great deal at NordVPN.com/Fightful. You can listen to your favorites abroad. You can shield your data from snoops and criminals, protect yourself on public Wi-Fi, and it works on all your devices and operating systems. It doesn't end there. Change your virtual location and then get pay-per-views at a much more affordable price, TV services at a much more affordable price. You got a password manager, a file encryption tool, threat protections, and on top of that, 24/7 tech support. So if for some reason you don't know exactly how it works, NordVPN.com/Fightful will help you learn how to do it. Check it out, NordVPN.com/Fightful.
NordVPN.com/Fightful is fantastic. Listen, you can watch WWE Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and PLEs with one Netflix subscription. If you have NordVPN.com/Fightful, you can get AEW pay-per-views at a much more affordable price with NordVPN.com/Fightful. Denise actually taught me the trick of watching all the NFL games on the local networks via NordVPN.com/Fightful. It is a huge money saver. Huge money saver. Definitely encourage you guys to check that out. Whew, boy. We're actually going to go to the main event. Hurt Business against Guns. If they thought the Guns were going to be the baby faces here, like that's out the window now. They're fine as baby faces. They did good in this match.
Yeah.
But that crowd loves chanting, "We hurt people."
Oh, why wouldn't you? But I love that they combined it.
Yeah.
We hurt people, guns up. We hurt people, guns up. That kind of stuff, that spontaneous, both these guys chants.
Yes.
That's magic. Like when everyone in the arena basically like, we love watching this fight, and I prefer this team over this team, and you prefer that team over this team. Great stuff. This was honestly really good. I thought that the Guns looked great in a match you knew they were going to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they played face and peril really well. But man, the thing I'm watching as we had tonight, a man of advanced age compete in a singles match. Like you watch Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, and if I asked my wife how old are these guys running around, there's no way she would say over 38, maybe You know what I mean? Like they're running around like guys who were 10 years younger than them. You know what I mean? If you don't know these guys are pushing 50, both of them, you would never know it. They're absolutely chiseled. They're moving around, really agile, like really excellent stuff. So honestly, I don't know how much longer these guys want to keep doing this, but as long as they're in this kind of shape and can work at this rate, man, go until you're 65.
Phenomenal crowd reaction for this, as you mentioned. Like, listen, the Guns had an uphill battle and still did incredibly well to get any fans caring about them when you're in the ring against Hurt Syndicate. And I don't mean caring about them. I mean, like, cheering for them. That is impressive stuff. That is so impressive. I just over the moon with how that developed. And the Guns have, like, I don't know what their next move will be. I don't know what Switchblade is doing. Juice is out for a while. Like, I don't know what's next for them, but they immediately came back and competed almost cold in. Go ahead.
I have a suggestion. Port them down to ROH for a little bit. Let them win the ROH tag titles.
Yeah, I would love that.
Give them a tag title run in ROH. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least let them go after it. Like, it would be that's the kind of thing is you can use ROH as that. We don't know what we're going to do with these guys, but they get over in front of a live crowd. Well, great. Send them to ROH. Let them do something down there.
And normally, I would have a problem with, like, the Guns immediately getting, like, a title shot, but, like, they were on a hot streak in the trios division before they got hurt and sidelined, so didn't have as much of a problem with that. Tom LaValle says Hurt Syndicate finally fighting against heels. I mean, yeah, Guns came back as, like, pseudo baby faces.
Yeah.
So
they've been gone for a while. People love the entrance. You know what I mean? They're a fun team to watch. People love Jay White. So, like, they're kind of enveloped in that. But what I love about the Hurt business is that they're baby faces only in that we cheer for them. They hurt people. That's not what baby faces do, but we love to watch them hurt people because I think at our core, we're all a little bit of sadists. So we like watching this thing happen because they're great. And I love that they're not baby facing them. They're just allowing them to be cheered by putting them against people that we think that at least they'll have good matches with, but we don't hate the fact that they're beating up on.
Max Caster's been killing it since the Acclaimed split. He was the one that I had serious concerns about.
Well,
and
he has been killing it. We haven't seen Bowen since they split.
Sure.
That was the guy I wanted to get a lot of screen time afterwards. Doing very well.
I think he'll come back Jannetty style and crack a mirror over Billy Gunn's head on accident or something. Just recreate that. Just do that. Like, Billy Gunn is Sherry.
Okay.
But Max Caster doing his open challenge and saying, I am the best wrestler alive, and I have the trademark to prove it.
Yeah.
Listen, I am happy to admit when I am wrong. I was completely wrong about the best wrestler alive deal. Yeah. It works for him.
The trademark thing makes it work. Like,
it does.
The government has decreed that I am the best wrestler alive. You want a problem with that? Take it up with the federal government. I think is a great heel thing to get heat. For sure.
Yes.
And bringing it around with him so he has it framed and he can show it to people, that's really great heel stuff. It is.
And when somebody smash, oh my God, that's what he's going to smash over Billy Gunn's head. I was right. It's going to happen.
Oh my gosh.
Tom LaValle says Guns are faces. I meant the murder machines. Oh, yeah. By the way, murder machines pop up after.
Ooh, yeah.
And they're going to beat the living dog shit out of one another.
That's going to be great.
That's going to be fun.
Great. We also saw on Collision, there was a vignette for FTR wanting the tag titles back. Like, I don't think that they'll beat the Hurt Syndicate, but what a way to legitimize the Hurt Syndicate by, like, going up against FTR would be really great.
I would like for them to continue giving Murder Machine some wins. Like they
Yes.
won on the Jericho Cruise a couple times. They beat Top Flight. That's cool. Give them a couple more wins. Like don't
Yeah.
just have people come out and point and go title shot. No, they're supposed to mean something.
I agree with you. I also love that that MVP will decide unilaterally if you are worthy of a title shot. You have conducted yourselves like gentlemen. You will your wish is granted. Your request is granted. You get the title shot. I honestly kind of like MVP basically being a yes or no to anybody who wants a title shot. We'll fight anybody. I don't care. I don't care how many wins you got or don't got. You come to me and you respectfully request to give me your resume, and I will tell you whether or not you are worth our time. Is a kind of cool thing to get past all that. But I agree with you. I would rather that Murder Machines just kick everybody's ass until it becomes undeniable.
Yeah. MVP and Don Callis in a promo off would be cool. It'd be one of those situations where MVP would be overwhelmingly the baby face.
Yeah.
And that would be great. Crazy One-on-One says ROH Global Wars matches announced for Australia. So you got Chris Jericho, Big Bill, Brian Keith, and then Bandito and the Outrunners on another side. Then you've got Robbie Eagles against Lee Moriarty for the Pure Championship. That's cool. Good. That's good stuff. I had let people know it would be more than a 2-hour show for the live crowd, obviously.
For the live crowd, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. We got the Max Caster Open Challenge. Hangman answers it, beats the shit out of him.
Yes, he does.
This is good TV, Alex.
This is great. No, this is absolutely great. And honestly, Max Caster is such a little shit that like it's always going to be fun for us to watch him get his ass kicked, especially because then as soon as he does, he rolls to the floor, goes to his little duffel bag, gets his framed thing from the government, and holds it up like, doesn't matter, I'm still the best wrestler alive. It's been notarized. And honestly, it's a great way of just keeping his heat forever. But this is really great for Hangman. When Hangman comes out and Caster jumps the barricade and then grabs somebody's sign and tries to hide behind it, like he's doing really good work as this the cowardly heel.
It is working so well, and Hangman playing off of him is working really well because like Caster's been that annoying little fly in his ear, and then he nuked him. Like that was it. MJF cutting a promo, and Hangman just shows up, and he's like, "Go away, my promo time." And then we get the standoff, and like Hangman's like the only person that could do this to MJF. Everybody else kind of knows their place in kayfabe. Like you're not going to out talk MJF, and Hangman's not worried about it. Hangman said, "God damn it, I am the Fightful Men's Best on Promos 2024, Best Individual Promo 2024." He said, "You can take that 2022 trophy and shove it straight up your ass." That's pretty much what the like he said there. And we'll get back to them, Alex. But we get MJF versus Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes very passionate. I love them doing this in Texas. They had what I thought was a great match. MJF ends up making Dustin Rhodes pass out. Dustin Rhodes is one of those guys that can get the audience to care about him on pretty well any kind of notice. Like we saw how well it could be over something with Cody 6 years ago, but we also see what it can be on like 2 weeks notice as well. No Jeff Jarrett.
No.
But the Dustin Rhodes MJF match, how'd you feel? I thought it was a wonderful blow off, and I know it meant a lot to MJF as well.
It served its purpose perfectly. Like it is what it is. Like Dustin Rhodes has all that fire, and MJF gets the heat from beating him in Texas. MJF has to throw everything he's got at the old guy to put him down for good. Dustin Rhodes doesn't get pinned. He doesn't tap. He passes out, protects him for whatever that's worth at this point. But like, I kind of like the idea of MJF basically going after the old folks home and saying, "You don't belong in my company anymore." That could be an arc for him as these guys are nearing the end of the line, is that he could be the guy who says, I'm the one to take you out. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that at all. But I thought this was really well done, and it served the purpose of also giving Hangman something to redeem himself with. Because one of the things that I loved about the promo between MJF and Hangman, because like I forget what he said, but it was some low-hanging fruit Max joke that he did. But then Hangman goes, after 5 years, that's really the best you got.
Yeah.
Oh, is that too lowbrow for you? And then he goes into this really great thing. But the thing that I love that he said to Hangman is, whatever this is, it's not you. You don't have the stomach for it. And there was an almost imperceptible shift in Hangman's face. He's so good at doing the little things that let you know that whatever the guy across from him has said is landing in a specific way. Hangman at his core is a good man. He is not the dude who snuck into Swerve's house and burned it down. That was something a good man was driven to by insanity, caused by a thing that Swerve did to him. So that moment of him recognizing, you're right, this isn't me. Because I'm doing all this as a facade to project what I think the people want. When he destroyed Swerve in that match and the crowd lit up and was counting cowboy shit, he was like, well, this is what you want from me. This is what I'm going to be now. But that's not who he is. At his core, he's a teacher. He's a youth educator. He's a good man at his core, and him recognizing that because the ultimate shitheel called him on it is a really cool cathartic moment, and why he comes out to beat the hell out of MJF because he didn't like MJF, but also, how dare you do that to Dustin Rhodes, who doesn't deserve that? I'm going to be the hero in this moment, not the villain. You watched him switch the black hat on the cowboy to a white hat. That was such a cool moment. I cannot wait to see where the full arc goes, but this is a pivotal moment for MJF, for Hangman Page, and for AEW, because as we all know, Hangman Page is the main character of AEW.
Yes. And so many things to break down here. So first off, they've had one-on-one match ever, and it was 7 minutes on Dynamite in the Diamond Ring tough finals, 5 years ago. Like, it was forever ago. They've had, they've been involved in some battle royals, some 6-mans, the Fighter Fest 4-way with Jungle Boy and Jimmy Havoc, if you remember him.
Oh my God.
If you remember the fact that he was with the company.
Yeah.
But MJF has a couple of unique abilities, and they are both to his benefit and detriment. When he's involved in something like the Jeff Jarrett thing, people will act like MJF will never recover and never be over again, and that a waste, and he should just go on to WWE and all this stuff. Yeah. You see it everywhere. I just think that he'd be better suited. What else does he have to accomplish? What else does he have to accomplish? There are feuds with Kenny Omega, real feuds, with the Young Bucks, with Hangman Page, with Swerve.
So many people at the top that he hasn't actually really got a chance to sink his teeth into.
There are so many because he's had these long-term feuds. Plus, I want to see them run back him and Adam Cole. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But you know how you can tell that MJF, the character, really hates Hangman now?
Yeah.
Because he wanted to fight him. Yeah. He wanted to fight him. And how often does MJF really want to fight somebody?
No, he doesn't.
And he's like, no, you fucking coward. Get out here.
Get back. I know you won't, though. And of course, that's going to make Hangman tromp through all the security guys and beat him up some more. It was excellent.
That's the thing. That's where MJF sort of lulls you into this false thing of LOL your mom, and then you're like, oh wait, he actually wants to fight this guy. Well, now he's really pissed off.
Yeah.
And MJF is very good at that. And another thing is, people just forget that MJF is an incredible wrestler because he doesn't wrestle that much.
Really, really, really good.
He's really great.
He's really, really, really good.
he hadn't wrestled on Dynamite in months. And I'm a big Dustin Rhodes guy. I know he was a big Dustin Rhodes guy. I know that family is very important to MJF on a serious personal level.
Yes.
Let's talk about 3 things in a row that we're actually ending our show on. The women's division.
Nice.
Megan Bayne defeats Maya World. And I said this on Twitter. Maya World, of whom I used to have blocked, Alex.
Wow.
I appeared on Indeed one day. And she was on there. And I said to her, I was like, Maya, sincerely, I think your work is really great. You're going to be a great star. And she's like, you've got me blocked, or you have me blocked. And Reg goes, what did you do to her? She's like, when I was a Stan account, I posted the paywalled news all over the place. Listen to me, Stan accounts. One day, I'm going to be covering your matches. Keep it anonymous. Don't be using that same account because I'll still have you blocked. But Maya World is incredible. And this will be a situation like when you're watching somebody and you go, remember that time they wrestled this person on Velocity? That will be Maya World in any number of years. You're going to see this clip. Megan Bayne whoops her ass. Just whoops her ass. But I did want to put over Maya quite a bit. Megan Bayne, fantastic. Looks great. Performed great. I know when she came to AEW, they kind of sent her away for a little while after the injury. They felt like she needed to improve. She's done that, Alex. She looks every bit of the part, and she's going to be over as a result. Any thoughts on Megan Bayne before we get to the follow-up?
One quick one. Megan Bayne, and I just noticed this tonight. She looks like you did a Pokemon level up to Anna Jay. I can't unsee it. Like in the face with the hair, the physique. She looks like, okay, Anna Jay is a level 2 Pokemon and she's like a level 5 of the same exact thing. And it's really uncanny. However, I love Megan Bayne. I think she's amazing. And the thing that happened, I was like, man, I'm watching this going, who is the person they're going to put in front of her to really legitimize Megan Bayne? To have her not win a squash, win a hard-fought match, but someone who, when she beats them, it's going to be so impressive, she will be undeniable. And like someone was answering my question, Kris Statlander showed up. And I was like, that's perfect. That's absolutely friggin' perfect. And I'm honestly so excited for, like we talked about, little undercard women's feuds that prepare somebody for a mega push. Megan Bayne versus Kris Statlander is it. Great stuff.
Phenomenal. So Kris comes out, and I like that the commentary was like, it seems like she thinks that Kris was taking a little bit too, or she thinks that Megan was taking a little too much time getting out of there. But also, Kris is wise to this. She understands how the game is played, like within character. I thought this was just phenomenal stuff and a great way to develop this upcoming feud, and one that I think Megan Bayne needs to win.
Yeah.
Matthew Hooks of Hooked in Voiceover says, great show. Surprises expectations for Grand Slam. I think Mercedes wins. Ospreay and Omega either win or Kyle Fletcher sneaks one on them, and it leads to them having friction. Although, Alex, somebody asked how I would get the Young Bucks back in the fold, and it'd be very similar to how I suggested the Christian Copeland thing, where the Callis family or Death Riders sort of overwhelm Omega and Ospreay, and Ospreay's like, listen, man, I know you don't trust them, but at one point you didn't trust me either, and you know we need them, and then who are them? We find out who them is.
Yeah.
We've got... Just Ricardo saying Megas' superiority. She's phenomenal. She is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then we got DNC Digital says, off topic, but title ideas for the new series of interview stories. Stop and show told. Play on drop toe hold. A little wordy, I know. I'm looking for something a little less wordy, but I appreciate it. For those of you that didn't see, I'm going to start a new video series where I tell you all stories behind some of our biggest interviews. and like some things that maybe you all didn't know about them that are pretty cool that you guys are really going to enjoy. Parker says, we got 2 women's matches. I want more. It shouldn't be hard to book. Megan and Kris are entering meat territory. They are the meat division for sure. The women's meat division. Alex, this is what we've been saying for a long time. Like, even if you got to do one as a squash, get 2 on there.
Yeah,
it goes a long way.
You got, like, I don't know how long it took from entrance to raising her hand for Megan Bayne to come out and squash Maya World, but that's you have enough time to do that. You can shift some things around. You can take a minute from another match here and then. You can take Chris Jericho's segment off TV. You could do whatever it takes to get another women's match on Dynamite every week. Get one squash in there and then another longer one.
We got Ego Death Metal saying end of Bang Bang Gang or a Jay and the Guns on side quest. Thought Swerve moved on from Hurt Syndicate for the face turn. Guns looking like faces, though. I think that they will eventually hit their paths again, and then they'll save each other from, some sort of thing, and then people will go, oh, cool, bang, bang. They'll do the chants and all that stuff. I think that's what's happening. I think they are on a side quest right now.
Yeah.
Alex, by far, our most super chatted thing is a woman that was like almost an afterthought on this show a few months ago.
Yeah.
Harley Cameron.
Yeah.
She does a rap video. And like at first you just think it's a Mercedes vignette because she's good at voices.
Yes.
And then it's the puppet doing a rap song with Harley Cameron.
Yeah.
And that's phenomenal as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then Harley Cameron cuts a serious promo.
Yes.
And we got lots of super chats about it. I can't wait to get to it. But she goes, yeah, you're saying that I don't know how to wrestle, but there was a time that I didn't know how to sing. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to be a ventriloquist, and I didn't know how to speak Chinese. Then she speaks in Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, but fortunately, I'm a very fast learner.
Yeah.
What? Like a minute and a half. From start to finish.
Yeah.
The video, the promo, and it did everything that it needed to do.
Yes.
This fucking ruled.
Yeah. I've seen enough. By the end of 2025, I need a picture of Harley Cameron holding her arms out with belts dangling from both of them. I want her to be Ultimo Cameron. I need her to be that by the end of 2025. By the end of 2025, she's going to be at the rate she's improving in the ring. She's going to have a legitimate a claim to be the best in the world in like 3 years. She's improving at a crazy rate. Add to it whatever she's doing, the ventriloquism. Ventriloquism by itself is a thing people spend years and years and years trying to perfect and don't get as good as she is at it right now. All the other stuff, this woman is ridiculously talented. And it is so funny to me that you were saying, like, hey, remember when when so-and-so was on Velocity? When Harley Cameron was like the weird Australian chick sitting in the QT Marshall, like TMZ stories?
Yes, I do remember that.
And I was like, who is this? And now though that was not all that long ago. And look at where she is now. Like, if it was up to me, there's zero chance I don't put the title on her in Australia. You can have Mercedes get it back at Revolution. Make that part of the story. There's zero chance I don't get that incredible feel-good moment, not only for the people in attendance in Australia, but for the people watching at home, because everyone, the one person I see everyone talking about more than anything else is Harley Cameron. That's crazy. How big she's become.
I want to get to these super chats and humper chats. Vicky sends a very generous one, says, SRS and Alex, I have to say the women look great. I want Puppet Mercedes yesterday. They got to sell those.
They got to
find a way to mass produce them. If you charge $125, people will pay $125.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. Says, love how Marina looked helpless for a millisecond. Bayne, Stat, Willow all looked great. Can we play a game? What's in the case? So, it is Alex, any predictions?
I mean, I just think it's the belt at this point. I don't want.
I hope it's not the belt.
I hope it's not the belt. I hope it's not the belt. But the thing of that, it is it's not the belt. It's some kind of thing indicating that the belt is actually in the possession of the person who's actually pulling the strings, which was the thing he said at the very first promo. He said, "You don't even know who's pulling the strings around here." And I was like, well, who is it then? Like, there's a really cool possibility for it to be somebody else. I just personally hope it's not Shane McMahon. But if it's somebody from out of left field, that might be interesting, honestly.
This might be a cheating answer, but I think the answer might be nothing.
Yeah, I know too. That's true.
AEW, Harley is AEW's Mankind in his main event year. Yeah, she's doing great. Yeah. Absolutely. Would you say Harley is OG acclaimed levels over? I wouldn't say yet, but online, like, definitely. And the crowd loves her.
The crowd loves her, man.
It is a great example of how quickly you can heat somebody up for the audience that watches the show.
Yeah.
It is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Is the uber talented Harley Cameron going to beat CEO? I'm going to say no.
I don't think she will, but I think she should.
Yeah, I think she should. And again, I think she should drop it back at Revolution. I'd be completely fine with that. Where's AEW Revolution at? LA. That's not Mercedes home turf. I was going to say.
No, but hey, her cousin is Snoop Dogg. I mean, he's as LA as it gets. So, like, have him come out and, like, they could do a little deal. I don't know.
Danny Quang says Harley speaking Chinese caught me so off guard. Caught a lot of people off guard. I didn't know she was capable of that. Alan says, imagine if they sold those Mercedes puppets in the Australia crowd, just full of them during the match. They need to speed up production. Yeah. Like, give them away to the first two rows, man, and just have them out there.
Even if they're way less high quality, but you can get like you go to, like, any of these Disney parks or anything like that, they have Mickey Mouse little hand puppets. Those things, they're not high quality, but they're all out there. You could easily not buy Australia, unfortunately, but you could easily figure out a way to rush production on, I don't know, a few thousand little hand puppets of Mercedes Manuppets. Yeah. That's the best way to call them, I believe. Mercedes Manuppets.
They gotta produce those. They have to strap the rocket to Harley because she could be one of those crossover into Hollywood stars that becomes too big to return regularly. I would be shocked if she wasn't. I mean, Harley is going to be successful at any number of things that she does. Like, she has lived so many lives already.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was training to be by the time the COVID was happening, she was not in wrestling. She wasn't like training or anything like that. Yeah. It was just, it's amazing how quickly she really does learn. And we had mentioned that last year. We were like, man, right out into the fire.
Yeah.
TJ Ridgeway says, any chance on Scott D'Amore being the string puller? Please, anything to make this D-Rider stuff mean something. TJ, I would say no. I don't think that's going to happen. He's doing his Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling thing. I've never heard of any extended conversations to bring him into the company or anything like that. I think there are probably more compelling options than that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what those would be. I would love to hear from our audience who some compelling options would be. I don't want Tony Khan as an on-screen character either.
No.
So but I never heard that it's anything related to Scott D'Amore.
I don't know, man. Like, one of the most compelling authority figures in the history of televised wrestling to me has always been Dario Cueto from Lucha Underground. Not that guy, obviously, but if you hired an actor who had all kinds of charisma to play whatever benefactor thing was, like, he was just an actor. He wasn't a promoter of any kind. They hired a dude to play the dude in charge of Lucha Underground. Like, it doesn't have to be anybody. How many millionaires in the world do you know what their face looks like? You know what I mean? Like, it could just be a dude who's got a whole bunch of money that wound up getting in. Like, it could be
Dan Lambert.
No.
Dan Lambert.
No.
C. Delgado says, I know TK doesn't usually do it, but give Harley the shock win and the moment at Grand Slam. Mercedes can win it back at Revolution. I mean, he did it with Saraya.
Yeah.
He absolutely did it with Saraya.
He could. Absolutely.
DNC Digital says people count time. Harley made time count. That is a wonderful point. Wonderful point. N. Simmons, by the way, guys, get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. We are heading down the home stretch. I believe I've gotten to all of them except for one more after this. N. Simmons says, I don't know much about Megan. I don't know much about Megan, but off sheer aura, put her, Mercedes, Willow, Tony, Jamie, Kris at the top of the division. I mean, they kind of are. I mean, they just all have their own feuds. Yeah. Says Harley Cameron, I can't say enough good stuff about her. She's a future top star. And then Dante says whoever's writing it needs a raise. Mm-hmm. I agree. Like all these, they've got a robust women's division full of challengers that can go in and out of these feuds, Alex. I think they've done a really good job. And I think they've balanced it really well in a few months. And also, that's without mentioning Thunder Rosa, Deonna Purrazzo, Britt Baker, people like that are still, or Serena Deeb, who has never quite gotten that break. Julia Hart,
who always, whenever they bring her out, she always gets this really big response. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do with a lot of great women.
Yeah. We've got Cap saying, hear me out. She loses and decided she needed to learn under a teacher. Athena comes up and makes her a minion. Athena, Mercedes, all in. That is an interesting thought, actually. Her bringing in a coach and Athena does it, and Billy is like, you don't know what you're getting into. Like, don't do this. She could feud with Billy a little bit. Regardless of what happens in Australia, the what's next needs to be there for Harley. You need to have something good to go for her. Yeah. If that means Harley Cameron becomes like Mercedes sidekick second, where Camille once was, obviously not muscle. Well, I think that would be kind of fun. Like Mercedes has got to show her like some respect after that. Though I think that's the big victory for her.
Yeah.
Pete Norman says tonight's show reminds me of when go home shows were so much meat. Hobbs, Bill, AEW was missing the meat in 2024 for sure. Yeah. Megan Stat, Willow Marina. I need a salad and a cold shower. You don't need a salad. You don't need a salad. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's next? A banana in the tailpipe? You gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe? Alex, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me at Alex Sourgraps on all the media's social. And you can find me this Saturday doing a review of Vengeance Day. NXT Vengeance Day is this Saturday. I believe our review will be happening at the same time that the Grand Slam will be being shown. So we might just do a little like watch along / review.
Sure.
Just to kind of get that out there. So if you got that on the TV, put us on the iPad in front of you. Could be a lot of fun time.
Guys, you know me, I'm at Fightful Select. People, if you say they announce more matches for Global War, listen, it's a lot more useful if you just tell me what they are.
Tell us what they are, because we don't know what they are.
Tell them what they are. Laser Scope says the only name I've remotely come up with as a mentor figure to Mox is War Master Josh Barnett. Also ties in Marina. I don't think that they will bring him in for that spot. Yeah, I love Josh Barnett, but I don't think that they will bring him in for that spot. I think he's great. I mean, obviously, Athena versus Alex Windsor and Sammy Dustin versus MXM. I like both of those matches.
Those are great ideas.
ROH Global Wars.
Yeah,
I love those. Guys, FightfulSelect.com. Until next time, we're out. Actually, maybe not. I got one more. No, psych, we're out.